now we have a keynote address on 5G taking network security to center stage. I would like to invite Lieutenant General Rajesh Pant, Coordinator, National Cyber Security, to share his vast knowledge with our audience. Welcome, Mr. Pant.
Greetings of the day to all attendees of the ETTelecom's 5G Congress Virtual Summit 2022. And thanks to the Economic Times team for giving me this privilege. I have been asked to speak on 5G, taking network security to center stage. I think this is a very timely and a relevant subject at the national level. Timely because the government of India has announced that 5G services will be rolled out from 15th of August this year, and relevant because the government of India also took an initiative last year to implement the National Security Directive on the telecom sector, basically to counter the security threats of 5G. So with both these aspects, I think it's a very important aspect that is being discussed today. However, let me share with you that network security was always at the center stage, whether it was 1G or whether it was 4G. Of course, there was a time when all of us said that as compared to the radio access part, the core is where the actual data is held and concentrate on the core. But all that has now changed into 5G, which is why the relevance of this topic that we are discussing today. I have tried to focus on 7 aspects which are relevant for network security in 5G. And let me go over them one by one. Firstly, the 5th generation of mobile technology. The network has moved away from centralized hardware-based switching to a distributed software-defined digital routing. The distinction between core and edge that I was talking of has blurred. In previous networks, all the computing and switching functions were performed centrally, where standard security devices and practices can be strictly followed. But in 5G, we have a very complex software-defined network where so many computing and switching functions previously handled centrally have moved to the edge of the network, thereby creating new security challenges such that now there has to be a uniform focus on security throughout the network. Secondly, 5G technologies enable the potential for billions of connected network devices, supporting a wealth of new capabilities and innovation. These devices and infrastructure capabilities, such as cellular towers, beamforming transmission, small cells, and mobile devices, introduce the opportunity for malicious actors to expose vulnerabilities across an increased set of threat vectors. If network devices were compromised through a network layer exploit, malicious actors could obtain unauthorized access to the 5G network, potentially disrupting operations and enabling the interception, manipulation, and destruction of critical data. I have also seen in some of the recent reports of CISA the importance of network slicing, which allows users to be authenticated for only one network area, enabling data and security isolation. However, network slicing can be difficult to manage, and the slices add complexity to the network. While there are standards defining specifications for how operators build their 5G networks, there are no clear specifications for how network operators should develop and implement security for network slicing. Improper network slicing management may allow malicious actors to access data from different slices or deny access to prioritized users. The 4th point I have in mind is the legacy communications issue. This legacy communication infrastructure, which will exist at least in the non-standalone mode, will contain inherent vulnerabilities that, if they are not addressed, can be exploited by malicious actors and hence must be considered. Fifth point is the use of spectrum sharing. To reach its potential, 5G systems require a complement of spectrum frequencies in different bands, low, mid, high band frequencies, because each frequency type offers unique benefits and challenges. With an increasing number of devices competing for access to the same spectrum, spectrum sharing is becoming more common. Spectrum sharing may thus provide opportunities for malicious actors to jam or interfere with non-critical communications and adversely affecting more critical communications networks. Sixthly is the aspect of software-defined networking, which is, as you all know, SDN is an architecture for automatically configuring routes across a network, primarily using an SDN controller. While the SDN improves network flexibility and eases management, malicious actors may embed code in the SDN controller applications to constrict the bandwidth and negatively affect operations. We now come to the last point, which revolves around the supply chain. Now, as you all know, that suppliers of the 5G market are often termed as oligopolistic market. Oligopolistic implies that there are a few companies which rule the market. And there were a few European companies, there were a few Chinese companies which were part of the 5G security players. So the aspect of vendor diversity needed to be addressed. We are also aware that studies have shown that the TCO of the traditional radio access networks, or the RANs, are nearly 65 to 70% of the cost of mobile networks. This is where Open RAN comes in. And Open RAN has the potential to reduce not only the CAPEX and the OPEX, but also provide us the very much needed vendor diversification. India supports the Open RAN initiative and desires to work with like-minded countries to see that this initiative gains momentum, spreads like fire in the oligopolistic 5G market. All the three big TSPs of India have their presence in the ORAN Alliance Board and are exploring the Open RAN domain with full enthusiasm. I myself have attended a number of the ORAN policy initiative meetings in the last 6 months, and I can assure you the pace is very, very fast as far as their potential is concerned. With these 7 points regarding the important aspects of network security in my perspective, I conclude this keynote and once again compliment ETTelecom for giving me this honor and for curating a very timely and relevant event. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Pant, for bringing great content to this platform. Certainly very informative and insightful session. Now we'll proceed further.